Hello. Today we are making coconut shrimp. And in order to do that, we need shrimp, of course. We're going to make a batter out of equal parts cornstarch and flour, about a cup of ice water, this is ice cold, and 2 tablespoons of oil. In addition to that, when we actually coat our shrimp, it's going to be in sweetened coconut. You're going to need anywhere between 3 to 5 cups, depending on how thick you want to put that on. And we're going to have, for our sauce, a half a cup of orange marmalade. We're going to use about a quarter of a cup of Dijon mustard. You can add a little bit of spice to this with like a hot sauce or something. I choose not to. I like it sweet. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in that, a little bit of pepper, and about a quarter of a cup of honey. So let's go ahead and get our sauce started. So I have my honey right here measured out. Just going to pour that in. Honey, we want to get all of that out. Come on, honey. So I'll work on getting the rest of that out in just a second. I'm going to put about 2 or 3 turns of my pepper mill. All right, maybe 5 turns. This is going to be the only spicy element I get in this sauce. And so we've got our pepper. We're going to put just about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon or so of salt. So we'll measure that out. Okay, we've got our salt. We're going to use that again. And we said we're going to put in about a quarter of a cup of Dijon mustard. So this is a brand new container. I'm just going to take the top off. I've got my quarter cup measure here. So I just find it easier to squeeze it out when it's like that. I'm going to do just shy of that. Again, I like having the flavor of the sweetness. This is going to, the acidity from the vinegar in the Dijon mustard is going to balance that out for us. So we're going to get that in our bowl. Okay. And we need a half a cup of orange marmalade. So this could be homemade, this could be something that you bought. I happen to have purchased mine. I just need a spoon. All right, so let's get set up again. Okay, so we're going to get about a half a cup of orange marmalade. Put that in here. And it's because I've made this recipe once before, I know that I've got just under half a cup here. All right, so close that up. I do have a little bit left there. Let's get the rest of our honey out of this measuring cup. Love that honey. And let's get the rest of the mustard out of this measuring cup. Okay, so we'll get these out of our workspace. And now all we do for our sauce here is just mix that up. You can use a whisk. You see I have one here. But because I've already dirtied the spoon, I'm just going to see if I need the whisk, which I don't think I do. Just want to make sure everything's incorporated. And then use your own taste. Do you want it to be a little bit of spicy? Add a little bit of sriracha or a little bit of Tabasco sauce. Add just a little, stir, taste, and decide if that's what you want. So this looks good. That's our sauce. You saw that came together very quickly, nice and easy. All right, so in the meantime, I have set up my oil in a pot here, and I am heating that to 350. It's at 329 right now. So our next step is to take our half a cup of flour. We're going to get a half a cup of cornstarch, so equal parts. So if you're making more or if you're making less, just be aware of that. Cornstarch is kind of poofy, so be careful as it comes out. It's going to poof all over the place. So half a cup. It doesn't have to be precise. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use vegetable oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use avocado oil. That's kind of expensive, so I wouldn't recommend it. And then we're going to add our water. So we're making a batter that we're going to coat our shrimp in. I'm going to use my whisk. Let's clear our space here. I'm going to use my whisk to get this all together. It's going to be a little bit runny, but the cornstarch adds a nice crispiness. You have your coconut on the outside. It's going to be delicious. Okay, so we've got that all mixed in together. All right. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to add, oh, I forgot, I want to add a little bit of salt to that, about a teaspoon of salt. Let's go ahead and get that mixed in as well. So that's the only seasoning the shrimp is going to have before it hits the actual sauce. And if you want to eat them naked, you don't have to have that. So I've laid out my coconut on a sheet pan. I'm actually going to put more, but as I get started, I want to make sure that I have some ready to go. So my pot of oil is ready. So we're going to go ahead and dip our shrimp using one hand. Okay, I only want one hand so that I can have a clean hand available. And then I'm going to roll and press the coconut onto my shrimp so that it sticks. All right, so we'll move that one off to the side. We'll do one more. Take some coconut, press it on. And move that off to the side. And we're going to repeat this for all of our shrimp. Now my shrimp is peeled and deveined, so there's no armor on it. And I have removed the vein that runs down the back. You want to make sure that you do that for all your shrimp, okay? So you can see it's split here, and I've removed everything. I've also removed the armor off of the tail. You may find when you go to some places, they leave the armor on the tail. Makes for a nice little handy handle. It looks pretty. I personally find it a little bit of a pain to eat because it means I have to pick it up with my fingers. I have to open it up. And if you like that, great. But for me, it's just I lose some of that meat because I don't do that. And I don't want to waste anything. So I've got my shrimp. Do a couple more pieces here. And then we're going to go into the fryer. Okay, our oil is ready to go. We're going to gently lower our shrimp in. They cook very quickly. Some of your coconut will come off, and that's okay. I'm just going to put in, because of the size of my pot, I'm going to put about 5 or 6 pieces in at a time and do this in batches. The shrimp take very little time to cook as long as your oil is at the right temperature. You're going to want to make sure that you have a place to pull them out and put them onto. So you'll see here I have a sheet pan, I have a rack on it, and I have something to pull them out of the hot oil. And like I said, this doesn't take very long. It's going to be probably 2 or 3 minutes tops. I mean, 3 minutes is a long time, but it depends on the size of your shrimp. So you know your shrimp is cooked when it makes a little C like that. Okay, so these are pretty much ready because my oil was at the right temperature and they cooked right up. Remember, there's also going to be a little bit of what's called carryover cooking. When I take them out, they're going to continue to cook for another moment, a minute or two. Well, I should say a minute. So even if they're slightly underdone, they're going to finish cooking when you pull them out. So I'm going to give those just another second, and then I'm going to take them out and put them right here on my rack. So let's do that now. See that deep golden color? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to continue this with the rest of our shrimp. I'm just letting it drain for a moment before I put it on the rack. All right, we've got everything cooked. Our shrimp is ready. We've got some sticky rice. We've got our sauce ready. So I've put a portion of sticky rice in the bowl. I'm going to, depending on how many or how hungry somebody is, you can put anywhere from 4 to 6 pieces a person. So I'm going to put just about 4 or 5 here. I'm also going to drizzle my sauce on the outside. I like to make sure it gets on the rice as well. You can also serve the sauce on the side to make it just for dipping. There we go. And then I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of green onions. They always bring a nice color. And a little bit of red pepper I've sliced up. And there you have it. We've got our coconut shrimp served with a beautiful, delicious orange marmalade sauce. And we've garnished it with green onions and peppers. I want you to try this. Tell me what you think, because I think that's delicious.